Evening peeps, good evening everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. This Saturday, please lock it in, put it in your diaries. We are doing a live watch along as Daniel Dubois looks to shock the world as he takes on Oleksandr Usyk. We're going to get going around 8 o'clock. That might change, but I'll let you guys know throughout the week. I think the main event ring walks around 10:30, 11. If it is 10:30, 11, we'll start at 8. And you guys know, if you've watched the watch-alongs before, we talk about absolutely everything and anything. I do try my best and commentate. So we'll commentate on the co-main event and obviously the main event. So yeah, live watch-along. We haven't done one in ages, mainly because I've obviously been out covering these fights. But I'm looking forward to this one. I was actually asked to go to the fight today, lastminute.com, and I've said, you know what, no. I've traveled a lot in the last month or so, and I just want to watch this one at home with you guys. So please, if you can, we haven't done one for ages. If you can, please join me this Saturday around 8 o'clock for Oleksandr Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. All right, let's quickly talk about that fight. We're what, 5-6 days out now. I did a video about a month ago, and I think I gave Daniel Dubois a 10% chance. So not a lot, a 10% chance. And I think, look, if you look at the bookies odds, that's a fair reflection on what people think. I mean, he's taken on a phenomenal fighter in Oleksandr Usyk. He's going into enemy territory. I know the fight's in Poland, but trust me when I say it's going to be full of Ukrainians. They've all crossed the border for this one. And I think this is a very, very big ask. Oleksandr Usyk, for me, is pound for pound top 3. He was, for a long time, for me, pound for pound number 1. But obviously, the performances recently of Terence Crawford and Inoue have pushed him down somewhat. And even if he were to win this one, he's not going to jump back up above those guys. But look, Daniel Dubois in front of him as a magician who can do absolutely everything in the ring. That being said, Daniel Dubois isn't going to go in there and try and play magic with him. Daniel Dubois is going to go in there and try and land some big bombs. And he has this kind of youthful exuberance where I don't think the Joe Joyce fight has affected him like it would affect veterans, where they start to get a bit gun shy. I think Daniel Dubois is going to go in like he did, I know it's Trevor Bryan, but like he did against Trevor Bryan, and he's going to try and take Oleksandr Usyk's head off. And he's going to try and hit him with the hardest shots he can. And this is the heavyweight division. If he lands one, who knows? So although I'm only giving him a 10% chance, it's a strong 10%. Like I'm not sort of a victim of the moment. I know some people have come up to me recently and said, Ada, you know what? Yeah, Daniel Dubois is looking good on the pads. I get that. But I've seen Usyk up close and personal twice, and it's just something to behold. Honestly, he's an incredible fighter. Look, you do have to question the age. I think he's, 36, 37. He hasn't been active for the last 4 or 5 years. It's been one fight a year. Compare that to when he was in the World Boxing Super Series and he was a lot busier. So he has been inactive. The age is creeping up as well, but he is that damn good. He is that damn good. Dubois has a chance. Dubois has a chance, and it's a puncher's chance, but it's a bit more than that as well. Again, I think Dubois probably has the legs on him. Does he have the gas tank on Usyk? He should, as the younger guy, but obviously Dubois carries a lot more weight. It's going to be interesting for the first few rounds, because the first few rounds, Usyk's somehow got to avoid those bombs, because Dubois is going to be throwing lefts and rights like the world is coming to an end. He's going to be throwing everything he can. And that's what I like. He's not going to go in there and try and he's not going to go in there and try and stick and move, is he? I mean, Don Charles has got him hitting those pads and punching through the pads. And he's going to be going in there, as I said, to almost take Usyk's head off. I just don't think it's possible. I mean, I really don't. This would be... I mean, AJ Ruiz was massive in terms of an upset. This, I think, would be bigger. If come 12 o'clock Saturday night, Daniel Dubois is the unified heavyweight champion of the world, this is bigger than... I don't know if it's bigger than Tyson Buster Douglas, but I understand what he's doing. I mean, he's not doing this, AO Arena or Copper Box, where he's going to have the fan base behind him and you feel like that gives you an extra 5 or 10%. He is going to enemy territory. This is in a football stadium, right? So I'm guessing 30, 40,000 people there will be booing him as he makes his way to the ring to take on their hero. Ain't going to be easy. Ain't going to be easy. Look, he's got a chance, but a very, very slim chance. But we'll see what can happen. I do wonder if that chance would have been bigger in my head if he was still with Shane McGuigan. Maybe. But he does know Don Charles very, very well. I mean, I was lucky enough to be in Chisora's camp years ago when Chisora was getting ready for Fury, the second fight. And Daniel Dubois was there in the camp. He was actually sparring Chisora. I saw that spar. That spar was very interesting. So he's been around Don Charles for ages. So it's not like he doesn't know him and it's just a new complete camp. It isn't like that. It's not like AJ Derek James. It isn't like that at all. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, I've changed my mind. 15%. I give him a 15% chance. There's a part of me, though, and we probably should be a bit more patriotic here, but there's a part of me that doesn't want him to win because I do want to see Usyk Fury. I don't want that dream to die. I want to see Usyk Fury. I potentially want to see Usyk Wilder. There's so many fights I want to see, and Daniel Dubois could spoil that, and I don't want him to spoil that. So sorry, Dubois. I want you to put up a good performance, but ultimately I want Oleksandr Usyk to win because I want to see him in great heavyweight fights. But look, it should be interesting for a few rounds. But regardless, we are covering it, and I'm excited to cover it. Gilberto Ramirez versus Joe Smith finalized October 7th in Las Vegas. Okay. It's a big fight-ish. It's not that if you categorize the fights in terms of A being Crawford Spence and Garcia Tank and B, C, D, it's probably somewhere between C and D. It's a good fight. I'm not overly excited that it's at cruiserweight. I think that takes a little bit away from it, because if this was at light heavyweight, I mean, some of the light heavyweight names out there, you'd think that, okay, the winner of this could fight. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's guys out there, right? Like, imagine this was light heavyweight. The winner of this faces the winner of Buatsi Aziz. I know it doesn't work like that, but do you know what I mean? There are options there. Now there isn't. Now that's at cruiserweight. But look, I mean, they're good additions to the cruiserweight division. I mean, there's loads of cruiserweights over here that would want to get in the ring with the winner of this one. So we'll see how that plays out. Terence Crawford, I've caught the big fish. Now I'm hunting the little cub. I don't know if you guys have listened to the podcast, Joe Rogan podcast with Crawford on. I went for a long walk the other day and listened to all of it. And Crawford's just, I've always liked Crawford, but I'm liking him even more now. Very, very intelligent man, and now he just wants the big ones. He's not mentioning the likes of Jaron Ennis or Virgil Ortiz. He wants the big ones, and he wants them so bad that he's willing to go to 168. He thinks Jamal Charlo's got a chance against Canelo, but he thinks maybe Canelo just edges it, and he wants to go up to 168 to take on Canelo. Obviously, look, if Jamel wins, he'll go up to 168 to take on Jamel, but he wants to be undisputed in another weight class, and I think he's thinking. And by the way, it's kind of what I told you guys about the 160 division. I think I mentioned the 160 division a couple of weeks. It's not even mentioning the guys in 160. That's how bad that division is right now. But he wants to go up to 168 potentially and fight the winner of Canelo versus Jamel, which, I mean, that's too much. I mean, him jumping 21 pounds and having to put on 21 pounds of lean mass. I don't know about that. I just don't think. I think it slows him down a bit. And what he's really good at, Crawford, is that movement, that back foot movement, that switch hitting. And I think adding 21 pounds of mass to it, that shit will slow down, especially against these guys that have been, especially in Canelo's instance, who's been at that weight class for years and who's just naturally used to it now. Tyson Fury on fights with AJ and Oleksandr Usyk. I'm not optimistic. We shall move on. Canelo, if I beat Crawford at 168 pounds, what are you guys going to say? He's too small. I don't know if they would say that. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I mean, with all due respect, he's fighting Jamel at 154. Jamel, who's coming from 154. So, he's taking on a smaller guy anyway. So I'm not quite sure they'll say that. I think people will just be so intrigued by the matchup that you can almost get away with it. Look, the fact that he's speaking about it a bit, Crawford's speaking about it a bit. Crawford's clearly going to wait to see how this one plays out, end of September, before he makes his decision on what he does next. Again, going to be 36 soon. He only wants the big fights. Well, I think he is 36. Stephen Fulton, anxious for revenge against Inoue. Can't wait to redeem myself against him. I think you should swerve that one like the plague. And not no normal plague. I'm talking like the biggest plague to wipe out human history. Swerve it. You ain't beating him, even at the other weight. Even if he goes up a weight and chases you up, you're not beating him. Anything else? Josh Taylor, I think moving up is probably the wisest option. I can fight Catchwell later on. I wonder how it plays out for him at 147. There was a time when he should have gone and he chose not to. Like, he stuck around for the Teofimo Lopez fight. Maybe you get away with the Jack Catchwell one. You go up, you're undisputed, and then your name's right in the mix, immediately in the mix. Remember, at the time of him beating Jack Catchwell, there was no talk of a potential fight between Crawford and Spence. Like, I mean, we spoke about it, but it didn't look like anything was going to happen. So he would have been in line as going up as undisputed to face one of those guys. Now, all of a sudden, not quite sure what he does. I wouldn't mind seeing him versus Catchwell at catchweight. I think we'd accept that. I think we know the weight restrictions, and I think if it was a case of trying to make that fight work, we would have accepted it. Kiko Martinez, former 2-division titleist, announces retirement. What an incredible run. Like, honestly, his career, let me bring it up actually. I remember Kiko Martinez, must have been about 12, 13 years ago, fighting Rendell Monroe. Do you guys know Rendell Monroe, the binman? I remember that. Let me go, I just want to see when that was. This guy has fought everybody. Let me see when he fought Rendell Monroe. Oh, I was right. He fought Bernard Dunn. He fought unbeaten Bernard Dunn in Dublin and knocked him out. Fought Rendell Monroe, maybe unlucky this one. It was in Nottingham and it was a majority decision. Those fights were in 2007 and 2008. He has stayed at that level for, what's that? How long's that? My maths are 16 years? 16 years at the top level. He's fought so many people. Especially when you thought, it's kind of done, he fights them again. Honestly, incredible career. Look at it. Jason Booth, Carl Frampton. Bloody hell. That was back in 2013. He fought Carl Frampton. Fought him again in 2014. Fought Scott Quigg, Leo Santa Cruz, Josh Warrington, Gary Russell Jr., Zelfa Barrett, obviously Kid Galahad, Warrington again, Jordan Gill. Solid. That's and he's become world champion. So that's a 10 out of 10 career. To be around that long, and I know double-digit defeats, but to be around that long and to, I've watched him. I don't think he's got, the natural talents, but he gets stuck in. To be around that long, that kind of longevity, and to have fought for world titles and have fought the best, and you've lost to them, you've beat some. 10 out of 10 career. Hopefully, he can chill now. Wilder Joshua to be finalized in 2 or 3 weeks, says Eddie Hearn. Okay. We'll see. We shall see. Fingers crossed. All right, guys. Anyway, very, very quick video. Again, we're doing the live watch along this Saturday. Please be there. My fear of doing these live watch alongs that no one's watching it with me. So please, if you can, be there. But we'll talk about it throughout the week as well. Hopefully, I can get a guest in to get some thoughts from them as opposed to just hearing me. But if I can't, we'll just keep the show rolling by myself. Remember, I weigh in on Thursday. Wish me good luck. We've got to make 175 pounds. I'm starving. Your boy's starving. But we're doing it. That's what we're about. Peace.